During the house tour, my brother said, "He just lives here. He doesn't decide anything." The agent smiled politely. She had that practiced real estate smile, the one that says she's heard every family drama imaginable and learned to treat it all like background noise. Her name was Linda something. I didn't catch the last name because my brother was already walking her through the foyer when I came downstairs, and he didn't bother with introductions. "This is the main living area," he said, gesturing like he owned the place. "Original hardwood, but we'll probably replace it. Buyers want that light oak look now. This darker wood reads as dated." I stood near the kitchen doorway. Linda glanced at me once, then back to my brother. He was wearing a polo shirt tucked into khakis, his developer uniform. Clean-shaven, confident, talking about square footage and comps like he'd built this house with his own hands. He hadn't. I built it. Not literally, but I chose this lot 23 years ago when the neighborhood was still half-empty fields. I walked the foundation pour. I argued with the original contractor about load-bearing walls when he wanted to cut corners. This house went up because I made decisions, 1,000 small decisions, and now my brother was telling a stranger I don't decide anything. "The kitchen's functional, but outdated," he continued. "Granite's making a comeback, but this tile countertop situation isn't doing anyone favors. We're thinking a full gut here. Open it up to the living room, add an island, pendant lighting. That's where you see your return." Linda nodded, taking notes on her tablet. My brother's wife, Vanessa, appeared from the hallway. She'd been photographing the bedrooms, probably for her lifestyle blog or whatever she called her Instagram account these days. She had that aggressively positive energy, the kind that made you tired just watching her. "Oh my God, Linda, you have to see the master bathroom," Vanessa said. "It's like a time capsule. I'm thinking we could do a whole renovation series on this. From dated to elevated. What do you think?" "That could be very engaging content," Linda said. They talked like I wasn't there. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, watching them move through my kitchen. Vanessa opened cabinets, critiqued the shelf liner, made a face at the contact paper I'd installed myself 15 years ago. My brother pointed out the window above the sink, mentioned something about sightlines and curb appeal. "And the current owner?" Linda asked. "Is he open to negotiation on closing timelines?" My brother looked at me finally. Just a glance, quick and dismissive. "He's flexible," he said. "We're helping him transition into something more manageable, probably a condo situation. This place is too much house for one person." "I'm married," I said. It was the first time I'd spoken since they arrived. All three of them turned to look at me like I'd interrupted a business meeting. "Right," my brother said, "but Claire's got her own situation. Point is, the house is too much upkeep. We're streamlining things." Streamlining. That was a new word for it. Linda smiled at me, that polite nothing smile. It's wonderful that family can help with these transitions. I didn't respond. My brother was already guiding her toward the stairs, talking about the upstairs layout, the potential for a bonus room conversion. Vanessa followed, still on her phone, probably already drafting captions about shiplap and subway tile. I stayed in the kitchen. Through the window, I could see my truck in the driveway. A 2015 F-150, nothing special, but it ran fine and the bed was useful for hauling inspection equipment. I'd driven it to 3 job sites this week already. Monday was a commercial build downtown, Wednesday was a school addition in the suburbs, Friday I'd spent 4 hours in a crawl space checking foundation, settling for a disputed insurance claim. I'm a structural safety consultant. Fancy title for someone who checks if buildings are going to fall down. I work for the county sometimes, private firms other times, and occasionally I get pulled into legal cases where somebody needs an expert witness to explain why a contractor cut corners or a developer ignored load calculations. It's boring work, mostly. Lots of measuring, documentation, photography. I carry a clipboard and people assume I'm just another inspector, someone to ignore or annoy depending on their deadline, which is fine. I prefer being underestimated. What people don't think about is that my job gives me access. I see permits before they're filed. I know which projects are running behind, which developers are leveraging everything on a single timeline, which buildings have problems that haven't surfaced yet. I know where the pressure points are. I know, for instance, that my brother's flagship development, the one he's been talking about for 8 months, the luxury townhome complex out on the east side, the project he leveraged his business and half his personal assets to finance, that entire development has exactly one critical dependency: timing. The construction permit expires in 41 days. If he doesn't break ground by then, he has to refile, which means new environmental reviews, new traffic studies, new public hearings, which means 6 months minimum, probably 8, which means his financing terms reset, his contractors walk, his pre-sales fall through, which means he loses everything. I heard them upstairs, footsteps moving from room to room. Vanessa's voice carried down the stairwell, high and enthusiastic, pointing out crown molding that could be salvaged or replaced depending on budget. My phone buzzed, text from Claire. "How's it going?" "They're upstairs," I typed back. "Did he say it?" "Yes." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, "Good." I pocketed my phone. The thing about betrayal is that it's rarely spontaneous. People don't just wake up one morning and decide to destroy you. They plan it, they discuss it, they convince themselves they're doing you a favor. My brother didn't invent this house tour on a whim. He scheduled it, he contacted Linda, arranged a time, prepared his talking points. He and Vanessa probably discussed it over dinner, maybe worked out the angles, who would say what. What he didn't know was that Claire and I had been listening. Not literally, we're not paranoid, but Claire's careful. She pays attention. She's a former ER nurse, spent 15 years triaging emergencies, and one thing you learn in that job is that the crisis you see is never the first symptom. People don't just collapse. They show signs, small things, changes in behavior, unusual choices, things that don't quite fit. 3 months ago, Vanessa started asking Claire questions about our finances. Casual questions, friendly questions. "How's your retirement looking? Are you guys thinking about downsizing? I read this article about seniors and housing costs." Claire's 51. I'm 53. We're not seniors. 2 months ago, my brother started coming by more often. Always with a reason. Checking on us, dropping off groceries, offering to help with yard work. Generous, thoughtful, concerned. Except he'd walk through the house like he was cataloging it. He'd comment on the furnace, the roof, the appliances. "This water heater's got to be 15 years old. You should replace it before it goes." I replaced it last year. 1 month ago, Claire found a folder on Vanessa's laptop. Vanessa had been using our guest room as an office, left the computer open when she went to take a phone call. The folder was labeled Transition Planning. Inside were spreadsheets, asset lists, timelines, contact information for assisted living facilities, estate attorneys, financial advisors. Claire took photos with her phone. Didn't say anything. Just closed the laptop, came downstairs, showed me. That night, we sat at the kitchen table and went through everything. The questions, the visits, the comments. We laid it out like evidence. "They're planning something," Claire said. "They're planning to take the house," I said. She nodded slowly. "They think we're vulnerable. They think I'm obsolete." Her expression didn't change, but I saw something shift in her eyes. Claire doesn't get angry the way normal people do. She gets precise. "What do you want to do?" she asked. I thought about it. Not long, I already knew. "I want them to understand they made a mistake," I said. "Okay," she said. "Then we should start now." That was 8 weeks ago. Since then, I've been very busy. Site inspections, permit reviews, documentation requests, all normal work, nothing unusual. Just doing my job, making sure buildings are safe, codes are followed, regulations are met. My brother's development has been particularly interesting. The property sits in a flood zone that was remapped 4 years ago. The new maps require additional drainage infrastructure, which adds cost and time. Most developers know this going in and plan accordingly. My brother did plan. He hired engineers, filed the right paperwork, budgeted for the extra work. What he didn't account for was that the drainage easement crosses a small corner of adjacent county property, which means county approval, which goes through the Infrastructure Safety Committee, which I consult for. Not every meeting, just the ones that matter. The approval's been pending for 7 weeks now. Not denied, just pending. Waiting on one more review, one more signature, one more piece of documentation, the kind of delay that's perfectly normal and completely maddening. My brother's called me about it twice. "Hey, any idea what's holding up that county approval? We're getting tight on schedule here." "Bureaucracy," I told him. "You know how it is. I can ask around, but these things move slow." "Appreciate it," he said. "We really need to break ground next month." "I understand," I said. "I'll see what I can do." I did nothing. Upstairs, the tour was wrapping up. I heard them coming back down, voices getting louder. "The bones are solid," Linda was saying. "You've got good square footage, nice lot. Location's excellent. I think with the right staging and some strategic updates, you'd see strong interest." "That's what I'm thinking," my brother said. "We're not trying to squeeze every dollar out of it. We just want something fair that moves quickly." They reached the bottom of the stairs. Vanessa was already typing on her phone again. Linda glanced at me, then at my brother. "Should we discuss listing price?" she asked. Let's step outside, my brother said. Get a sense of the curb appeal. They moved toward the front door. I followed, not because I was invited, but because this was my house and I wanted to watch. The afternoon sun was bright, made everything look clean and suburban and normal. Linda stood on the walkway, looking back at the house, probably doing that thing agents do where they imagine the listing photos. My brother stood next to her, hands in his pockets, relaxed. Vanessa was near the mailbox, still on her phone. I think we're looking at competitive pricing in the low fours, Linda said. Maybe 410, 420 if we highlight the lot size in the school district. That works, my brother said. We're flexible on closing. Honestly, the faster the better. I can have comps pulled by tomorrow, Linda said. We could have you listed by next week? Perfect, my brother said. I reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out a folded document, stepped forward and handed it to Linda. You'll want to see this first, I said. She took it, confused, unfolded it. Started reading. My brother frowned. What is that? Linda's expression changed. The professional smile faded. She looked up at me, then at my brother, then back at the document. This is a quitclaim deed transfer, she said slowly. Dated yesterday. What? My brother stepped closer, trying to see. The property was transferred to Claire Morrison as sole owner, Linda continued. Filed with the county recorder's office. It's official. My brother stared at her, then at me. That's not possible, he said. It's notarized, Linda said. She pointed at the bottom of the page. See? County stamp, official filing number. This property isn't yours to sell. Vanessa looked up from her phone. Wait, what? My brother took the document from Linda, read it himself. I watched his face, watched the confidence drain out of it, replaced by confusion, then anger. You can't just transfer property without telling anyone, he said. I can, I said. It's called estate planning. Married couples do it all the time. Claire and I decided she should hold the title, simpler for tax purposes. When did you do this? Yesterday, I said. Took about 40 minutes at the county office. Very straightforward process. His jaw tightened. This is because of what I said, about you not deciding anything. This has nothing to do with what you said, I said. This was planned weeks ago. I just happened to file it yesterday. That was a lie. It had everything to do with what he said, but I wanted him to think it didn't. I wanted him to understand that I'd been 3 steps ahead the whole time, that his little performance today was irrelevant, that he'd been obsolete before he even started. Linda cleared her throat. I think maybe this isn't the right time to discuss listing. No, I said. It's not. She nodded, already backing toward her car. I'll let you all work this out. She left quickly, professional enough not to run, but moving with purpose. Vanessa watched her go, then turned to my brother. What just happened? He didn't answer. He was staring at the document, reading it again like the words might change. I looked at him, waited until he looked back. I do decide things, I said quietly. You just weren't paying attention? Then I turned and walked back inside, leaving them on the lawn. Claire was in the kitchen when I came in. She'd been upstairs the whole time, staying out of sight. She looked at me, raised her eyebrows in question. He knows, I said. She nodded. Didn't smile, didn't celebrate. Just acknowledged the information. What do you think he'll do? She asked. He'll get angry, I said. Then he'll try to fix it. Can he? No, I said. But he doesn't know that yet. I sat down at the table. Claire poured coffee, set a cup in front of me. Outside, I heard a car door slam. Vanessa's voice, high and upset. My brother saying something I couldn't make out. They'll call, Claire said. Probably, I said. What will you tell them? I thought about it. Took a sip of coffee. The truth, I said. That I'm just doing what's manageable. Streamlining things. Claire almost smiled. Almost. We sat there in the kitchen, in the house that was now legally hers, and waited for the next move. Because this wasn't over. This was just the beginning. My brother thought he was helping me transition into something smaller, something easier to manage. He thought he was doing me a favor. He was wrong. I wasn't transitioning. I was escalating. As the story unfolds, hit the hype button, like subscribe, and write in the comments. Would you forgive them or walk away? My brother called that night at 9:15. I was watching a documentary about bridge failures, taking notes on a yellow legal pad because I had an inspection scheduled for Monday on a pedestrian overpass that was showing stress cracks. I let it ring 4 times before answering. Yeah, I said. We need to talk, he said. His voice was tight, controlled. The anger was there, but he was managing it, trying to sound reasonable. About what? You know what? The house. What you did today. I filed paperwork, I said. That's what I did. Without telling anyone. Without discussing it with family. I discussed it with Claire. She's my family. Silence on the other end. I could hear him breathing. That's not what I mean, and you know it, he said. We've been trying to help you, trying to make sure you're taken care of, and you pull something like this? Like what? Managing my own assets? You made us look like idiots in front of that agent. You made yourself look like an idiot, I said. I just gave her accurate information. More silence, longer this time. Is this because of what I said? He asked finally. About you not deciding things? Why would that bother me? I said. If it were true, I wouldn't have the authority to be bothered by it. Don't play games. You're upset. I'm watching TV, I said. I'm very relaxed. I heard him take a breath, forcing himself to stay calm. Look, he said. I apologize if I said something that came across wrong. I was just trying to help Linda understand the family dynamics. The family dynamics, I repeated. Yeah, the situation. You're getting older, the house is a lot to maintain, and Claire's got her own health considerations. We thought we were doing you a favor. What health considerations? He hesitated. She's been talking about her back, and she mentioned something about her hip last month. Her hip is fine, I said. She tweaked it doing yoga. It was gone in 3 days. Still, at your age, these things add up. We're just thinking ahead. That's thoughtful, I said, but we're handling it. By transferring the deed without telling anyone. By making sure our assets are properly allocated, I said. It's called estate planning. Responsible people do it. Another pause. I could hear paper rustling on his end, like he was looking at notes. This doesn't have to be adversarial, he said. We're family. We want what's best for everyone. Great, I said. Then we're aligned. Are we? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're trying to make some kind of point. What point would that be? That you're still in control. That you don't need help. That you can manage everything on your own. I didn't answer. On the TV, engineers were explaining how a bridge collapsed in 1940 because nobody accounted for wind resonance. The whole structure had twisted itself apart in under an hour. I'm not trying to take anything from you, my brother said. His voice softened, went into what I recognized as his sales mode. Reasonable, understanding, persuasive. I'm trying to help you transition into the next phase. You've worked hard your whole life. You deserve to relax. Let someone else handle the maintenance, the property taxes, all the headaches. And what do I get in return? I asked. Peace of mind, financial security, a simpler life. By moving into a condo. Or assisted living, eventually. Whatever makes sense. Assisted living, I said. I'm 53. It's never too early to plan. I set down my legal pad, picked up my coffee mug, found it empty, set it back down. Here's what I think, I said. I think you found a way to monetize my house. You looked at the property value, ran some numbers, and figured out how to leverage it into your next project. You convinced yourself it was helping me because that made it easier. But really, you just saw an asset you could use. That's not true. Which part? Any of it. I'm not trying to monetize anything. I'm trying to help my brother. Your brother who doesn't decide anything. He went quiet again. This time I waited him out. I already apologized for that, he said finally. No, you didn't. You apologized if it came across wrong. That's different. Fine, I apologize. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it. Okay, I said. So can we move past this? Sure, I said. There's nothing to move past. The house is Claire's. You have no claim to it. That's just reality. I never said I had a claim to it. Then we agree. Good talk. I hung up before he could respond. Claire was in the doorway. She'd been listening, I realized. Not hiding it, just standing there. He's going to push harder, she said. I know. Vanessa will too. She'll try the emotional angle. Probably, I said. Claire walked over, sat down next to me. On the TV, they were showing slow-motion footage of the bridge twisting in the wind. It looked impossible, like something from a special effect. Do you think he knows about the development permit? She asked. Not yet, I said. He's still thinking this is about hurt feelings and family drama. He doesn't see the other pieces. When will he figure it out? Soon, I said. He's not stupid, just arrogant. Once he realizes the county approval isn't coming through, he'll start asking questions. And then? Then he'll try to pressure me, call in favors, make threats, whatever he thinks will work. Claire nodded slowly. What if he goes around you, finds someone else on the committee to push it through? He can try, I said. But the committee's careful. They don't like being pressured. And right now, there are legitimate questions about the drainage calculations. So questions that require answers. Answers you're not providing. Answers the engineering firm needs to provide. I corrected. I'm just the consultant. I make recommendations. If those recommendations keep changing because the documentation keeps being incomplete, well, that's not my fault. She almost smiled again. You're enjoying this? No, I said. I'm not enjoying it. I'm just doing my job. That was mostly true. I wasn't enjoying the revenge itself, the petty satisfaction of watching my brother scramble. What I was enjoying was the precision, the way everything lined up, the way every small decision I'd made over the past 8 weeks was now clicking into place like gears in a machine. My phone buzzed, text from my brother. This isn't over. I showed it to Claire. She read it, handed the phone back. He's right, she said. It's not. I know, I said. I texted back, never said it was. Then I turned off my phone and went back to watching the documentary. The next morning was Saturday. I spent it doing yard work, normal weekend maintenance. Mowed the lawn, trimmed the hedges, cleaned the gutters. Claire worked in the garden, pulling weeds and deadheading roses. Around noon, Vanessa showed up. She parked in the driveway, got out holding 2 coffee cups from the expensive place downtown. She was wearing athleisure, the kind that costs more than regular clothes but is designed to look casual. Her hair was in a high ponytail and she had her phone tucked into her waistband. Hey, she called out. Bright, friendly, like nothing had happened. Thought you guys could use a break. Brought lattes. Claire looked at me. I shrugged. Vanessa came over, handed Claire a cup, offered me the other one. Thanks, I said. No problem, she said. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Can we talk for a minute? Sure, Claire said. She gestured to the patio table. We all sat down. Vanessa took a sip of her coffee, looked out at the yard. This place really is beautiful, she said. You've done an amazing job maintaining it. Thanks, I said. It's a lot of work, though, all this space. We manage, Claire said. Vanessa nodded, set down her cup, leaned forward slightly. Look, I want to apologize for yesterday. Things got weird, and I feel like maybe we came across the wrong way. How did you mean to come across? I asked. Helpful, she said. We were trying to help, but I think maybe we made assumptions we shouldn't have made. What assumptions? That you needed help, that you wanted to make a change. She paused. That you'd talk to us about it first before making decisions. Claire sipped her coffee, didn't respond. The thing is, Vanessa continued, we've been worried about you guys, not in a condescending way, just in a family way. We see you out here doing all this maintenance and we think, why? Why put yourself through that when there are easier options? Because we like it here, I said. I get that, I really do. But liking something doesn't mean it's the right choice long term. Long term, I repeated. Yeah, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, are you still going to be able to handle all this? The lawn, the repairs, the upkeep? Probably not, I said. But that's a problem for 5 years from now. Or you could solve it now, Vanessa said. Before it becomes a crisis. That's all we're suggesting. Claire set down her cup. By selling our house and moving into a condo. Or assisted living when the time comes. Something with support services, medical staff on site. We're not sick, I said. Not yet, Vanessa said. But you will be. Everyone gets old. Everyone needs help eventually. Eventually, Claire said. Not now. Vanessa's smile tightened. Okay, I hear you. But here's the thing. Your brother and I have been researching this. We've talked to financial planners, real estate experts, care coordinators. We've done the homework. And everything we've learned says that the best time to make these transitions is before you have to, while you're still healthy, still sharp, still able to make good decisions. We are able to make good decisions, I said. We made one yesterday. She looked at me. The smile was gone now. That decision makes things complicated, she said. How? The house was supposed to be part of a larger financial strategy. Liquidating it now, while the market's strong, would give you resources for the future. Resources you're going to need. We have resources, Claire said. You have savings, Vanessa said. But do you have enough? Have you calculated long-term care costs, medical expenses? What if one of you needs round-the-clock nursing? We'll figure it out, I said. Or you could figure it out now, with help. Your help, Claire said. Yes, our help. I leaned back in my chair, looked at Vanessa. She was good at this, I realized. The concerned voice, the reasonable arguments, the slow escalation from suggestion to pressure. She'd probably practiced this conversation. "What's your commission on the sale?" I asked. She blinked. "What?" "If we sell the house, what do you get out of it?" "This isn't about money." "Everything's about money," I said. "You and my brother were planning to flip this property. Probably already had buyers lined up, maybe even pre-sales. You'd take a commission, he'd reinvest the profit into his development. Circle of life." "That's not fair," Vanessa said. "Fair doesn't matter," I said. "True does. And that's true, isn't it?" She stood up. The friendly mask was completely gone now. "We were trying to help you," she said. Her voice had an edge to it, something sharp underneath the concern. "We spent weeks researching options, making plans, trying to figure out the best way forward, and you sabotaged it, out of spite." "Out of self-interest," I said. "There's a difference." "You're being selfish." "Yes," I said. "It's my house. I'm allowed to be selfish about it." She stared at me, then at Claire. "You're both making a mistake," she said. "You're going to regret this." "Maybe," Claire said, "but it'll be our mistake to make." Vanessa picked up her coffee cup, turned to leave, then stopped. "Your brother worked really hard to set this up," she said. "He cares about you. He was trying to do the right thing." "The right thing for who?" I asked. She didn't answer, just walked back to her car, got in, drove away. Claire and I sat there in silence for a moment. "That went well," she said finally. "Could have been worse," I said. "How?" "She could have stayed longer." And Claire laughed, just a little. Then she got up and went back to the garden. I finished my coffee, watched her work. The yard looked good. The grass was green, the hedges were trimmed, the roses were healthy. A lot of work, yes? But good work, work I chose. My phone rang. My brother again? I answered. "Vanessa says you were hostile," he said. No greeting, just straight in. "Vanessa came here to manipulate us," I said. We declined to be manipulated. She was trying to have a conversation. She was trying to make us feel guilty for not doing what you want. What we want is to help you. "Then help by leaving us alone," I said. "I can't do that." "Why not?" He paused. I could hear noise in the background, traffic maybe. He was driving. "Because you're making decisions that affect more than just you," he said. "How do my property decisions affect you?" "They affect the family. They affect long-term planning. They affect things you don't understand." "Try me," I said. Another pause, longer. "The development," he said finally. "The East Side project. I need that county approval to move forward, and I need it soon." "Okay," I said. "You work with the county. You know people." "I do," I said. "So you could help. You could make a call, push it through, get me that approval." "I could," I said. "But I won't." Silence. "Why not?" he asked. "Because you don't decide anything," I said. "About my property, my career, or my choices. You just live in your version of reality. You don't get to change mine." I hung up. Claire looked over from the garden, raised her eyebrows. "Now it's personal," I said. "It was always personal," she said. "No," I said. "Before it was business. Now he knows I'm the problem. Now he knows I can fix it, and I'm choosing not to." "What will he do?" I thought about it, looked at the phone in my hand. "He'll escalate," I said. "He'll try to force my hand." "How?" "I don't know yet," I said. "But he'll try." Claire nodded, went back to her roses. I sat there on the patio, feeling the sun on my face, listening to the sound of traffic in the distance, thinking about bridges and how they fall, not all at once, little by little. Stress cracks, wind resonance, small failures that cascade. My brother's development was a bridge, and I was the wind. The coffee shop was called The Grind, one of those places with exposed brick and local art on the walls. I got there at 9:50, ordered black coffee, sat at a table in the back where I could see the door. My brother arrived at 10:03. He looked rough, unshaven, wrinkled shirt, dark circles under his eyes. He spotted me, walked over, sat down without getting coffee. "Thanks for coming," he said. I nodded. Waited. He rubbed his face with both hands. Breathed out slowly. "I didn't sleep last night," he said. "I've been going through everything. The numbers, the timeline, the options. I keep running it, and it keeps coming out the same way." "Which is?" "I'm finished," he said. "Unless something changes in the next 4 weeks, I lose everything." I sipped my coffee, said nothing. The investors are already nervous, he continued. They're asking questions about the delays. If I don't break ground soon, they'll pull out. And if they pull out, the bank pulls the construction loan. And if that happens, I default on the property purchase. I lose my deposit, my pre-sales fall through, and I end up personally liable for about $2 million I don't have. That's bad, I said. It's catastrophic, he said. It'll destroy me. Bankruptcy, lawsuits, years of recovery, if I recover at all. He looked at me. His eyes were red. I need your help, he said. I know things got weird with the house. I know I said things I shouldn't have said. But this is bigger than that. This is my entire life. What do you want me to do? Push the approval through, override the drainage concerns, sign off on it. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You're the consulting expert. Your recommendation carries weight. If you say it's acceptable, the committee approves it. And if the drainage fails? It won't fail. The engineering is solid. The calculations are fine. They're not fine, I said. They use the wrong maps. So we'll update them. We'll submit new calculations today. Right now, whatever you need. The committee meets once a month, I said. Next meeting is 3 weeks away. Can you approve it outside the meeting? Emergency review or something? For what emergency? My financial emergency. That's not how it works, I said. He leaned forward. Look, I know you're mad about the house thing. I get it. I was out of line. But this is different. This isn't about pride or family drama. This is about whether I survive. It's about whether your project survives, I said. You'll be fine. No, I won't. You don't understand the exposure here. I personally guaranteed the loans. I put up my house, my savings, everything. If this project fails, Vanessa and I lose everything too. Then you shouldn't have leveraged everything on one project. His jaw tightened. That's easy to say when you're not the one taking risks. I take risks, I said. I just calculate them first. Don't lecture me about risk management. I built a business from nothing. I've been successful for 15 years. I know what I'm doing. Apparently not, I said. Or you wouldn't be here begging me to violate professional standards. He stood up suddenly. The chair scraped loud against the floor. People looked over. You're enjoying this, he said. His voice was tight, angry. You like watching me fail. I don't care if you fail, I said. I care about doing my job correctly. Bullshit. This is revenge. I embarrassed you in front of that real estate agent, and now you're destroying my life. You embarrassed yourself, I said. I just didn't stop you. He stared at me. Something shifted in his expression. The desperation faded, replaced by something colder. I could go over your head, he said. Talk to Margaret directly. Explain the situation. She's reasonable. She might understand. She might, I said. But she'll ask me for my professional opinion. And I'll tell her the truth. Which is? That the engineering is inadequate and approving it would be irresponsible. Even if that destroys your brother. Even then, I said. He nodded slowly, picked up his chair, sat back down. When he spoke again, his voice was quiet. What would it take? He asked. For what? For you to approve it. What do you want? I looked at him. Are you trying to bribe me? I'm trying to negotiate. There's nothing to negotiate, I said. You want me to compromise my professional integrity? I'm not interested. Everyone has a price. Not for this, I said. He studied my face, looking for something, some angle he could use. The house, he said finally. If I leave you alone about the house, if Vanessa and I back off completely, will you approve the project? No, I said. Why not? Because the house was never the issue. The engineering is the issue. Then what is the issue? What do you want? I finished my coffee, set down the cup. I want you to understand something, I said. You came into my house and treated me like I was irrelevant, like I was furniture, like my opinions and decisions didn't matter because you'd already decided what was best for me. I apologized for that. You apologized for how it sounded, not for what you actually believed. He said nothing. You want to know what I want? I continued. I want you to live with the consequences of treating people like they're disposable. I want you to learn that actions have results. I want you to understand that you're not as smart as you think you are. So this is punishment. No, I said. This is education. I stood up. He stayed sitting. Wait, he said. Please, there has to be something. There isn't, I said. What about Mom? I stopped. What about her? She'd want us to work this out. She'd want family to help family. Don't use her to manipulate me. I'm not manipulating. I'm just saying she'd be disappointed in both of us right now. Probably, I said, but she's not here, so we'll have to disappoint her on our own. I left. He didn't follow. I got in my truck, drove to my next job site. Another inspection, this time a residential addition with permit violations. Spent 3 hours documenting everything, writing up citations, explaining to a very angry homeowner why they needed to tear out unpermitted work. Normal day, normal work. My brother didn't call. Vanessa did. I let it go to voicemail, listened to it later. I know you talked to him this morning. I know what he asked. I just want you to know that this isn't just about him. I have a life too. I have plans. I have dreams. And you're destroying all of it because you're mad about something stupid. That's not fair. That's not right. We're family. You're supposed to help family. Call me back. I deleted it. That evening, Claire and I went for a walk. Our neighborhood has a park 3 blocks away, a loop trail around a small lake. We walked it twice, not talking much, just being together. Halfway around the second loop, Claire spoke. Vanessa called me again, she said. What did she say? That we're being cruel, that we don't understand what we're doing to them. Do we? Yes, she said. We understand perfectly. We walked in silence for a while. Do you ever feel bad? I asked. She thought about it. No. Do you? Sometimes, I said. Then I remember what they were planning, how they talked about us, how they were going to manage our lives like we were children. And then? Then I don't feel bad anymore, I said. She took my hand. We finished the walk. Back home, I checked email. Found a message from my brother's engineering firm. New drainage calculations, updated maps, complete documentation, everything I'd asked for, all submitted properly. I opened the files, reviewed them carefully, they were correct. The calculations used the right maps, the capacity estimates were accurate, the engineering was sound. If I submitted this to the committee, they'd approve it. I sat there staring at the screen. Claire came up behind me. What's wrong? They fixed it, I said. The engineering, it's all correct now. So, you'll approve it? That's what I'm supposed to do, I said. But it's early. They submitted it with 3 weeks to spare. If I process it now, it goes to the committee at the next meeting. Gets approved, my brother breaks ground with time to spare. And if you wait? The next meeting is in 3 weeks. After that, another 4 weeks to the following meeting. By then, his permit expires. Claire said nothing. Just waited. If I sit on this, I said slowly, if I just don't process it immediately, if I take my time reviewing it, double-checking everything, making absolutely sure it's perfect, by the time it gets to the committee, it might be too late. Might be, she said. Probably would be, I said. Is that ethical? I thought about it. The ethical thing is to review submissions thoroughly, to not rush, to make sure everything is absolutely correct before passing it along. How long does a thorough review take? Depends on the complexity, I said. This is complex. Could take a couple weeks. Could it? Yes, I said. It could. She kissed the top of my head. Then you should be thorough. I closed the laptop. The next morning, I sent a brief email to the engineering firm. Received your updated submission. Will conduct full review and provide feedback within standard timeline. Thank you. Standard timeline was 2 to 3 weeks. They responded within an hour. Can you expedite? Project timeline is critical. I replied. Will review as quickly as possible while maintaining thoroughness. Appreciate your patience. I didn't hear back. I spent the next week on other projects. Normal inspections, normal reports, normal work. I didn't think about my brother's development. I didn't think about the clock running down. I just worked. The next 2 weeks passed in a strange kind of suspension. I worked my normal schedule, did my normal inspections, attended normal meetings. My brother's revised drainage calculations sat in my review queue, professionally complete and technically correct. I didn't process them. Every few days, the engineering firm would send a polite follow-up email. Checking on status of review. Timeline is critical. Please advise. I'd respond with variations of the same message. Review ongoing. Will update when complete. My brother called less frequently now. When he did call, I didn't answer. He left voicemails. First angry, then pleading, then quiet and defeated. I listened to each one once, then deleted it. Vanessa sent texts. Long paragraphs about family and forgiveness and second chances, about the baby, about their future, about how this would affect generations. I didn't respond. Claire asked me once if I felt guilty. No, I said, but I feel something. What? I thought about it. Responsible, like I'm performing surgery. If I hesitate or second guess, I'll mess it up. Is that what this is? She asked. Surgery? Removing something toxic, I said. That's surgery. She didn't argue. 14 days before my brother's permit expired, I got a call from Margaret Chen. We need to talk about the Morrison development, she said. No preamble, just straight in. That was her style. What about it? I asked. I had a call yesterday from the developer, your brother. He's extremely concerned about the review timeline. The review is ongoing, I said. For 3 weeks now. That's unusually long for a drainage revision. It's complex, I said. Is it? Because I looked at the submission myself. It appears straightforward. Updated maps, revised calculations. What's taking so long? I paused. Careful now. Margaret was smart, and she didn't tolerate politics. I want to make sure it's absolutely correct, I said. The first 3 submissions had significant errors. I'm being thorough to avoid another round of revisions. How much longer do you need? Another week, at least. Maybe 2? The permit expires in 14 days. I'm aware. Silence on her end. Then, is this personal? What do you mean? He's your brother. There's family history. I need to know if that's affecting your professional judgment. It's not, I said. I'm reviewing the engineering the same way I'd review anyone's. More carefully, it sounds like. More thoroughly, I said, given the previous errors. Another pause. I need your review by Friday. That gives us time to schedule a special committee meeting before the permit expires. Friday's tight. Then work fast, she said, but I need it done. We can't have developers claiming we're deliberately delaying approvals. Understood, I said. She hung up. I sat in my truck, phone in hand. Friday was 4 days away. If I submitted the review Friday, the committee could meet early next week. They'd approve it. My brother would break ground with days to spare. He'd survive. I could hear his voice in my head. Please, just let me survive this. I drove to the county office, pulled up the file on my computer. The drainage calculations sat there, technically perfect, waiting for my approval. I opened a new document, started typing my review. Revised drainage calculations for Morrison Development, East Side, technical review summary. I worked for 3 hours, analyzed every number, checked every reference, verified every assumption. The engineering was solid, perfect actually. They'd done everything right. I saved the document, closed it without submitting, went home. That night, Claire found me sitting in the dark living room, staring at nothing. What's wrong? She asked. Margaret gave me a deadline. Friday. I have to finish the review by Friday. Okay, she said. If I submit it Friday, they'll approve it. He wins. Is the engineering correct? Yes, I said. Then you have to approve it, she said. I looked at her. What? You have to approve it, she repeated. That's your job. If the engineering is correct, you approve it. That's the ethical thing. After everything they did? After everything they tried to do, she said. You stopped them. You protected us. You proved they couldn't control you. That's enough. Is it? She sat down next to me. What else do you want? I want them to understand, I said. Really understand. That you can't treat people like they're disposable. They understand that now. Look at your brother. He's desperate, scared, broken. He understands. But he survives, I said. He loses some money, some pride, but he survives. He rebuilds. In 5 years, this is just a story about a tough period. Maybe, she said. Or maybe it changes him. Maybe he learns. Maybe he becomes someone who respects other people. You don't believe that. No, she said. But it's possible. I sat there thinking. The house was quiet. Outside, a car drove past, headlights sweeping across the wall. I found something, Claire said quietly. What? In Vanessa's cloud storage. She still uses our Wi-Fi sometimes when she visits. Her laptop auto-syncs. What did you find? A document, dated 3 months ago, before they ever approached us about the house, before the whole transition planning started. What kind of document? A proposal, she said, for a lifestyle brand. Silver Solutions, navigating family transitions. She was planning a whole series, blog posts, videos, a book eventually, about how she and your brother helped an aging family member downsize, how they managed the transition with grace and compassion. I stared at her. Are you serious? She had an outline, 12 chapters. Understanding denial. Overcoming resistance. Building trust through patience. She was going to monetize the whole thing. When did you find this? 2 days ago. I've been thinking about whether to tell you. Why wouldn't you? Because I thought it might make you angrier, might push you to do something that crosses a line. I leaned back, closed my eyes. She was going to turn our lives into content, I said. Yes. Use our humiliation to build her brand. Yes. And she probably thought she was being generous, helping us while also creating something meaningful. Probably, Claire said. I opened my eyes, looked at her. I'm not approving it Friday, I said. What? The review. I'm not finishing it by Friday. They'll just assign it to someone else. Maybe, I said. But that takes time, coordination. The new reviewer would have to start from scratch, understand the context, review everything. That's another week at least. The permit expires in 2 weeks. Exactly. She looked at me for a long moment. You're sure? Completely. Okay, she said, then don't approve it. Friday came. I didn't submit the review. Margaret called at 4 p.m. Where's the Morrison review? I need more time, I said. We agreed on Friday. I found some additional concerns. I need to verify them before I can approve. What concerns? The soil percolation rates. They seem optimistic given the site history. The engineering firm certified those rates. I'd like to double-check them anyway. When? I need to visit the site, take samples, run independent tests. That could take weeks. Could take less, could take more. Depends on what I find. Long silence. You're deliberately delaying this, she said. I'm being thorough. No, you're being vindictive, and I can't allow it. Then remove me from the review, I said. What? Remove me. Assign it to someone else. Tom, maybe. He's qualified. That would delay things even more. Then you have a choice, I said. Wait for me to finish properly, or reassign and wait for someone else to catch up. Either way, there's a delay. This is unacceptable. This is professional due diligence, I said. If something goes wrong with that drainage, if someone's property floods, if there's damage, the county is liable. I'm protecting the county. You're protecting yourself, she said, from criticism that you went easy on family. Maybe, I said. Either way, I need more time. She hung up without saying goodbye. 10 minutes later, Tom called. Margaret just assigned me the Morrison review, he said. As secondary consultant, she wants both of us to sign off. Okay, I said. She says you have concerns about soil percolation. I do. Want to walk me through them? Sure, I said. I can send you my notes. Probably take you a few days to review everything, understand the context. How long have you been reviewing this? 3 weeks. Jesus. Okay, I'll do my best to catch up quickly. Appreciate it, I said. He hung up. I sat in my truck, feeling something like satisfaction. Not happiness, not joy, just the clean feeling of a mechanism clicking into place. Tom was good at his job, thorough, professional, careful. He'd review the drainage calculations properly, he'd probably approve them, but it would take him time. A week at minimum to fully understand the project, review the history, verify the calculations. The permit expired in 9 days. That night, my brother showed up at the house. Claire and I were having dinner when the doorbell rang. I got up, looked through the window, saw him standing on the porch. I opened the door, but didn't invite him in. What do you want? I said. He looked terrible. Unshaven, hollow eyes, clothes that hung loose like he'd lost weight. I need to know why, he said. His voice was flat, exhausted. Why what? Why you're doing this? Why you want me destroyed? I don't want you destroyed, I said. I just want you to fail. What's the difference? Destroyed means you never recover. Failed means you learn something. He laughed, but it sounded wrong. Broken. I've learned plenty. I've learned my brother hates me. I've learned family means nothing. I've learned that people will smile at you and then stick a knife in your back when you're not looking. I never smiled at you, I said. I was very clear about what I thought. After the fact. You acted all normal, all helpful, while you were sabotaging everything behind the scenes? I did my job, I said. You're the one who made it personal. By trying to help you. By treating me like I was incompetent, like I was a problem to solve. He shook his head. You're punishing me for caring. I'm holding you accountable for lying to yourself about your motives. My motives were to help family. Your motives were to monetize an opportunity, I said. Vanessa's lifestyle brand proposal. Silver Solutions. Ring a bell? His face changed. How do you know about that? Doesn't matter how I know. Point is, you weren't helping. You were exploiting, and you convinced yourself it was noble. That was just an idea. We never actually did anything with it. Because I stopped you, I said, before you could turn my life into content for strangers. He stood there on the porch, swaying slightly. I realized he might be drunk. The permit expires in 9 days, he said. I know. Tom can't finish the review in 9 days. Probably not. So I lose everything. Probably, I said. And you're okay with that? I'm at peace with it, I said. He nodded slowly. Vanessa left me. I hadn't expected that. What? 2 days ago, she moved back to her parents' place, said she can't watch me destroy myself, said she needs to think about the baby, about what's best for them. I'm sorry to hear that, I said. And I was, slightly. Not for him, for the situation. No, you're not, he said. You're glad. You wanted her gone, too. I didn't want anything except to be left alone. Well, congratulations. You're alone. You and Claire in your perfect house with your perfect life while everyone around you falls apart. My life isn't perfect, I said. It's just mine. He turned to leave, stopped. I used to look up to you, he said without looking back. When we were kids, you were the smart one, the careful one, the one who always thought things through. I wanted to be like you. Then you should have paid more attention, I said. He walked to his car, drove away. I stood on the porch for a moment, then went back inside. Claire was clearing the dinner dishes. How was that? She asked. Sad, I said. Are you okay? Yes, I said. Are you? Yes, she said. But I think this needs to end soon, one way or another. It will, I said. 9 days. She nodded. Went back to the dishes. I helped her clean up. We didn't talk about my brother. We talked about other things, normal things. Later, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling and thought about consequences, about how you can set things in motion and then just watch them unfold, how you can be responsible without being cruel, how you can teach someone a lesson without having to explain it. 9 days, then it would be over. The next morning, I got a call from an attorney. This is Richard Marsh with Brennan and Associates, he said. I represent your brother regarding the Morrison Development Project. Okay, I said. I understand you're the consulting engineer reviewing drainage approvals for the county? I am. And I understand there have been significant delays in processing the approval? The review is ongoing, I said, for nearly a month now. That seems excessive. Complex project, I said. Mr. Morrison has provided all requested documentation. The engineering firm has certified the calculations. Multiple submissions have been made addressing every concern you've raised. Yet the approval remains pending. Because I'm being thorough. Or because you're using your position to harm your brother financially. I sat up straighter. That's a serious accusation. It's a serious situation. My client faces bankruptcy if this approval doesn't come through immediately. That's unfortunate, I said, but it doesn't change the review process. Mr. Morrison has documentation showing a pattern of delays that appear deliberate, requests for information that weren't necessary, standards applied more strictly than to other projects. I apply the same standards to every project, I said. We'll see what an investigation determines. Investigation? We're filing a formal complaint with the county, alleging conflict of interest, abuse of authority, and deliberate interference with a permitted project. We're also considering civil action for damages. Good luck with that, I said. This isn't a game, Marsh said. His voice hardened. If you cost my client millions of dollars because of a personal grudge, you'll be held accountable. I'm already accountable, I said. To professional standards, to public safety, not to your client's financial timeline. We'll let the courts decide that. He hung up. I sat in my truck, phone in hand. This was new. I'd expected anger, pressure, begging. I hadn't expected legal action. I called Claire. They hired an attorney, I said. What did he say? I told her. She listened quietly. Can they actually sue you? She asked. They can try. Whether they'd win is different. I've documented everything. My reviews are legitimate. The delays are justifiable. But it'll be messy. Probably, I said. Is it worth it? I thought about that. Yes, because even if they sue, even if they make noise, the permit still expires. They can't stop that. And once it expires, the lawsuit becomes pointless. They're trying to scare me into approving it now. Are you scared? No, I said. Are you? No, she said. But I think you should call someone. Make sure you're protected. She was right. I called a friend from college, Sam, who'd become a civil attorney. Explained the situation. Do you have documentation? He asked. Everything. Emails, review notes, meeting minutes, complete timeline of every submission and every issue I identified. Good. Keep it organized. If they file a complaint, you'll need to provide it. But honestly, this sounds like intimidation more than actual legal strategy. Why? Because proving bias in a technical review is almost impossible if your documentation is clean. They'd have to show you applied different standards than you would to anyone else. And if you've been consistent, professional, thorough, they've got nothing. What about the conflict of interest angle? You disclosed the relationship? Yes. To my supervisor, to the committee chair, it's on record. Then you're fine. Conflict of interest isn't illegal if it's disclosed and managed properly, and being related doesn't automatically disqualify you from reviewing a project. So I just wait it out? Pretty much. Respond professionally if they file formally. Provide your documentation. Let the process run. They're desperate and they're bluffing. I thanked him. Hung up. The next 6 days were tense. The attorney sent a formal demand letter to the county. Margaret called me in for a meeting. We've received a complaint, she said. She looked annoyed, not at me, but at the situation, alleging bias and deliberate delay. I know, I said. His attorney called me. Can I see your documentation? I pulled out my laptop, showed her everything. The submission timeline, my review notes, every email exchange, every identified issue and how it was addressed. She read through it carefully. Took almost an hour. This is thorough, she said finally. That's what I've been saying. Maybe too thorough. How can documentation be too thorough? It can't, she said. But the timing is suspicious. This project has gotten more scrutiny than anything else this year. Because it had more problems than anything else this year. Did it? Or did you find more problems because you were looking harder? I met her eyes. Both can be true. She leaned back. Off the record? Okay. Is this personal? Yes, I said. But that doesn't make my reviews wrong. Everything I flagged was legitimate. Everything I asked for was necessary. The fact that I was more careful because it was family doesn't mean I was biased. It means I was protecting myself from accusations of favoritism. That's a convenient argument. It's also true, I said. She studied me. You know this destroys him. I know. And you're okay with that. He tried to destroy me first, I said. He just did it with smiles and concern instead of permits and deadlines. She nodded slowly. I can't protect you if this becomes a legal issue. I'm not asking you to. Good, because the county won't take sides. We'll cooperate with any investigation, provide all records, let the facts speak. That's all I want, I said. Tom's review is almost done, she said. He'll present findings tomorrow. If he approves it, we can schedule an emergency committee meeting. Get it approved before the permit expires. Okay, I said. You don't sound happy about that. Tom's good at his job, I said. If he approves it, it means the engineering is sound. And if the engineering is sound, your brother survives. Then he survives, I said. She looked at me for a long moment. You're playing a dangerous game. I'm not playing anything, I said. I'm just working. She dismissed me. I left. That night, Tom called. I finished the review, he said. And? The engineering is solid. Really solid, actually. Better than most submissions I see. My stomach tightened. So you're approving it? I have one concern. What's that? The soil percolation rates, the ones you flagged. I ran some historical data on the site, looked at adjacent properties, checked rainfall patterns. The numbers the engineering firm used are optimistic. How optimistic? Enough that I think they need field verification. Real testing, not just lab estimates. How long would that take? To schedule, conduct, analyze, a week minimum, maybe 10 days. The permit expired in 4 days. You think the field testing is necessary? I asked. I think it's prudent. If those rates are wrong and the drainage fails, we're looking at potential flooding issues. Better to verify now. Okay, I said. Write it up. I'll support your recommendation. You sure? This'll push things past his permit deadline. If the testing is necessary, it's necessary, I said. All right, I'll have the recommendation ready tomorrow. He hung up. I sat there holding the phone. I hadn't pushed Tom, hadn't influenced him. He'd found the same concern I had, independently, and reached the same conclusion. The engineering was good but not perfect, and perfect was the standard. Claire came in. Who was that? Tom. He finished his review. What did he say? He wants field testing, says it'll take another week. She sat down. The permit expires in 4 days. I know. So, this is it. This is the end. Unless they can somehow expedite the testing and get results in 4 days. Can they? No, I said. Not possible. We sat together in silence. Do you feel different? She asked. Now that it's actually happening? I feel tired, I said, and ready for it to be over. Me too, she said. The next day, Tom submitted his recommendation. Field testing required. Margaret scheduled it for discussion at the next committee meeting. The next committee meeting was in 11 days. The permit expired in 3. My brother's attorney sent another letter. More aggressive this time. Threats of lawsuits, claims of damages, demands for immediate approval. The county attorney responded with a simple statement. All reviews are conducted according to standard procedures. No special consideration will be given based on deadline pressures. 2 days before the permit expired, my brother called. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello, I said. It's over, he said. His voice was empty, hollow. You won. I didn't win anything, I said. Yes, you did. You destroyed me completely. Congratulations. I just did my job. Keep telling yourself that, he said. Keep pretending this was about engineering and safety. We both know what this was really about. What was it about? Revenge. Pure and simple. I hurt your feelings and you destroyed my life. You didn't hurt my feelings, I said. You showed me who you really are. I just responded accordingly. By ending me. By protecting myself, I said. He laughed. It sounded broken. Well, you're protected now. I'm bankrupt. My marriage is over. I'm about to lose everything I've built. You're very safe. I'm sorry it came to this, I said, and I meant it, partially. No, you're not. You wanted this. You orchestrated it. You're probably celebrating right now. I'm not celebrating, I said. Then what are you doing? Living my life. In my house, making my own decisions. Silence on the other end, long enough that I thought he'd hung up. I would have helped you, he said finally. His voice was quiet, sad. If you'd been in trouble, if you'd needed anything, I would have helped. That's what family does. Family respects each other, I said. Family doesn't treat each other like problems to solve. We were trying to help. You were trying to control, I said. There's a difference. I can't anymore, he said. I can't keep arguing about this. I can't keep pretending I understand why you hate me so much. I don't hate you, I said. I just don't trust you. That's worse, he said. Maybe, I said. He hung up. I set down the phone, sat there in my truck, feeling nothing except exhaustion. Claire texted, How are you? Tired, I typed back. Almost done, she sent. Almost, I agreed. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything that had happened. About the house tour, the conversations, the permits, the delays. About my brother's face when he realized what was happening. About Vanessa leaving. About the baby who'd grow up knowing this story. Around 2 a.m., Claire stirred next to me. You're awake, she said. Yeah. Thinking? Yeah. About? Whether we're the villains in this story, I said. She was quiet for a moment. Do you think we are? I think it depends who's telling it. What do you think? I thought about it. Really thought. I think we're just people who refuse to be victims, I said. Everything else followed from that. Is that enough? She asked. It has to be, I said. She took my hand. We lay there in the dark, not talking. The permit expired the next day at midnight. I didn't stay up to watch the clock. I went to bed normal time, slept fitfully, woke up at 6. It was done. Everything he'd leveraged, everything he'd risked, everything he'd built his future on, gone. Because the drainage calculations needed one more test. Because I'd been thorough. Because I'd done my job. I made coffee, read the news, got ready for work. Normal Thursday. Claire came downstairs. How do you feel? She asked. The same, I said. You? The same, she said. We had breakfast together, didn't talk about my brother, didn't talk about permits or deadlines or revenge, just ate breakfast like it was a normal day, because it was.